One of the things that we try so hard to do is to educate our community on sexual assault, and that sexual assault is not to ever be blamed on a victim. There are still a lot of false notions out there that a victim is someone that perhaps drank a little bit too much and got themselves into a bad situation. And what we do as an agency is go out there and dispel those myths and help people understand that this has nothing to do with what a victim did.
I think one of the most important things for people to understand about sexual assault and sexual abuse is that it knows no bounds. I mean, it affects people of all races, all religions, all socioeconomic status. It's throughout our community.
I know from my experience it happens all ages. The youngest patient I've cared for is 3 months, sad to say, and the eldest 99.
I was involved with a sexual assault in Austin about 12 years ago. It is something that has affected me in various ways. Everything changed that night. Everything about myself, who I am, who I trusted, my spirituality, so many things in my life were affected that I really had no idea. I thought it was just something that I could gloss over and pretend really didn't happen.
I'm a survivor of child sexual assault perpetrated by my father from the age of 10 to 19. And I really had a hard time dealing with that and didn't tell anyone about it until I was 20 years old and had already been married, and really had a difficult time at first with dealing with it. Hated myself, hated everybody around me, had a lot of rage, a lot of anger.
Our volunteers are not like normal volunteers because they actually are trained through a 30-hour classroom training to be able to answer crisis hotline calls from survivors, and also to go to the hospital to meet with survivors to offer emotional support, crisis intervention, and information during that person's time in need.
When they arrive at the hospital, we are fortunate within our team to be working with the Turning Point, who always sends a volunteer advocate to support the patient and also to assist the nurse, the examining nurse, where needed.
Oh, volunteers are instrumental in our education department. We could not do all of our work without the volunteers. We have a lovely team of dedicated volunteers from the Turning Point and from Junior League of Plano who provide the bulk of our TAP, our Teen Awareness Program presentation.
I absolutely love interacting with the young people in Collin County to provide them with information that will give them education and awareness about sexual violence, so that they hopefully won't find themselves in a position where they are harmed one day. And if they have been, they know that help is available. They know that there are resources out there for them, and that they're not alone.
Well, being on the board for the Turning Point is a very rewarding experience. It is a lot of hard work. We put a lot of time into this agency because the board is essentially does a lot of the fundraising.
The board is very active in its involvement. When we talk about our monthly board meetings, when we talk about annual events that we have to do as an organization, we're all tied in together as a unit, so to speak, and we support each other.
To me, being able to be involved in a way that helps to prevent sexual assault and to show the signs of sexual assault is paramount. And then second to that, of course, is that we can't avoid the fact that it happens. And being involved in a way that helps people to survive and to come out of it on the other side with a healthy aspect of their lives is, to me, very important.
The Turning Point is probably one of the best organizations I have ever worked for. They're very caring people. They're very on top of all the latest laws. They work well with law enforcement. They've done an excellent job of training both the volunteers and the nurses that do these exams, and integrating all of it together to work for the survivors.
What I do is to upgrade the website, for lack of a better term, but more important to me is the ability to take the technology that we have, to take websites, the ability to communicate, put that in some place that can be used internally and externally, so that not only can we solve problems, or more importantly, that the counselors and the volunteers can solve problems, but they're not as burdened down by the everyday operational aspects.
Roughly 100% of all profit goes directly back into the Turning Point to help these victims and survivors, and also to make sure that we can continue, we invest the money so that we can continue supporting the Turning Point in the long term.
What is challenging for us is getting that message out and getting people to understand how valuable their donation really is, that it makes such a huge impact on lives.
If it weren't for agencies like the Turning Point, we would have so many more damaged people who turn to drugs, who turn to alcohol, substance abuse, prostitution, violence. It would just, because you have to be able to expel those emotions and work through them. Otherwise they stay inside, and you follow a path, you're more likely to follow a path of destructive behaviors.
I feel like the Turning Point offers services that are invaluable, because having those people there, one, that have been there and gone through that pain and understand, really are there to assist the victim or the survivor in any way possible.
The services provided by Turning Point to survivors is invaluable. You can't imagine how much it helps a survivor to know that there's somebody there that understands, that cares, and can help them work through it.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.